Hong Kong must prepare for the worst from the raging U.S.-China trade war by throwing a lifeline to smaller companies appealing for help, the city's commerce minister said on Thursday. Secretary for Commerce and Economic Development Edward Tang-wah revealed new relief measures aimed at easing the financial burden on small and medium-sized enterprises, SMEs, with banks tightening credit and no end in sight to the worsening confrontation. After discussing with the various chambers of commerce for the 9th time in the last 7 or 8 months, I think the general consensus is that the dispute between the U.S. and China over trade is unlikely to be resolved in a short period of time, he said. We therefore have to prepare for the worst and for this battle to be played long. Back in Hong Kong after leading a business delegation to Washington last month to lobby U.S. Secretary of Commerce Wilbur Ross and other officials, Yao said his American counterparts understood the city's position. Since firing the first shot of the trade war in July with a series of tariffs, U.S. President Donald Trump has slapped 10% tariffs on $200 billion worth of Chinese products, with the rate set to rise to 25% on January 1 next year. China has hit back with 5 to 10% tariffs on $60 billion worth of American goods. Nearly half of Chinese goods shipped via Hong Kong to the U.S., the city's second-largest trading partner, will be affected by the tariffs. The SME financing guarantee scheme for small and medium-sized enterprises to obtain financing from lenders, which offers an 80% loan guarantee, will be extended beyond next February. U.S. investors embrace unprofitable Chinese IPOs, but they have a plan. The maximum loan amount will be increased from the current $12 million to $15 million, while the guarantee period will be expanded to 7 years from 5 years. Joining fees for SMEs will also be reduced. Yao said many small and medium-sized enterprises had applied for relief measures rolled out earlier this year, and they were particularly interested in diversifying into new markets such as Singapore, Malaysia and Vietnam. Those measures, aimed at helping SMEs tap into the markets of the 10-member Association of Southeast Asian Nations, attracted 75 applications in the first month of their launch in August. With the lack of progress in the bilateral talk between China and the U.S., I think in a short and medium future, we'll continue to see a rough sea ahead of us. Edward Yao, Commerce Minister. Applications for the Bud Fund, which subsidizes SMEs investing in the mainland Chinese market, jumped 60% to about 200 from the second quarter to the third quarter, he said. The SME Export Marketing Fund, which aims to encourage small and medium enterprises (SMEs) to expand their markets outside Hong Kong by providing financial assistance, which doubled to $400,000 on August 1, saw a 30% in applications for the first 8 months year-on-year. Business chambers such as the Federation of Hong Kong Industries and Chinese Manufacturers Association welcomed the new measures, which they said would boost SMEs' confidence and encourage them to carry on with business. Many Hong Kong factory owners in China are racing to deliver goods to the U.S. before the tariffs rise to 25% in January, Federation Chairman Jimmy Kwok Chun-Hwa said. We don't know if they will still have orders by then, but the measures will give confidence to keep the business going. Manufacturers may also find it harder to sell their products in American markets after the U.S., Mexico and Canada signed a new trade deal on Monday that has been seen as a means to further shut out China. One very clear indication is that the overall global trading environment is not in peaceful water, Yao said. With a lack of progress in the bilateral talk between China and the U.S., I think in a short and medium future, we'll continue to see a rough sea ahead of us. Top U.S. envoy dismisses call to punish Hong Kong with trade tariffs. Yao expressed concern that Hong Kong would not escape collateral damage. On a wider front, as a member of the WTO, World Trade Organization, and also as a long-term advocate of free trade, we are having a systemic concern on whether protectionist measures in various forms would prevail, further dampening the advocacy and practice of free trade, he said. These are areas that Hong Kong will not shy away from, speaking up as a member of the WTO and the vanguard of the multilateral trading system.